This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Well, as I have been cutting down my collection, I've come across a lot of tough choices. And even though they were tough, I don't think they were as tough as some of the ones that I'm facing. And one of the ones where I just couldn't decide, and I wondered if you would be able to decide. And that was between Kingdom Death Monster, Primal, The Awakening, and Aeon's Odyssey. I'm going to make sure I get that right. I believe I do. It's a huge white box. But it is a beautiful, beautiful game, which I've been painting and playing. And I wonder, if you had to keep one, which one would you keep? You know, with Odyssey, it's when I opened that box, you know, I was just enthralled, and you know, taking the ship in a journey and all the things that you go through really were special. I think the game is special. And then I came to Kingdom Death Monster, and I was kind of like, geez, you know, I loved this game when I first got it. All the delays and the drama with it kind of tainted it a little bit, but I never would get rid of it. Then when they finally released a whole bunch of stuff, and there have been so many changes, and it kind of got you lost in the game. It's like a video I made not too long about 1.5s, 1.6s, 1.8s. What do you do when you have that 1.0 or that 1.2? You know, do the rules that much change? Do the monsters change? They release monsters with the 1.5 the models. So does that make your 1.2s no good and stuff like that? And I kind of got lost in the game a little bit with Kingdom Death Monster. And now, you know, I as much as I want to say, okay, let's walk away from it, I really can't, you know? I mean, it's such an expensive game, and it's a game I never finished playing. So it's one of those ones that I want to keep around. And then, you know, you add in, Primal. And Primal, for me, I am just really, really enjoying, because there is just so much for it. And I did it on this channel. I opened up that box and I was absolutely blown away. I finished painting a whole bunch of stuff, and I've been playing stuff and taping it for when I take a little bit of a siesta. But that game there, I looked at it and I go, my God, this is glorious. This really is. The monsters, how different they are. The things that they do. You know, how you get sucked into it. And it's all, you know, it's boss combat. And I really enjoy boss combat. You know, it's one of the things I really loved about, you know, Dark Souls. Setting yourself up to do that boss combat, which was great. You know, I loved playing Dark Souls. That, to me, is a different game, and I leave that off to the side. I don't include it in these three. And these three here are big box games, and you're like, okay, which one do I get rid of? I don't think I can get rid of any of them. But if I had to get rid of one, believe it or not, I think it would be Kingdom Death Monster. I just think it's become so confusing. On top of it, it's very, very dark, which doesn't bother me. It's... You can only be in the dark for so long before you want to see the light. And I think when you start getting sucked into that, it really is dreary, and it's really, you know, different. It just, There's something about it. It's about the human condition. And for me, with all the confusing, all the drama, all the unfinished stuff, you know, thank God the treasure chest finally came out, which I have. You know, I haven't even gotten to that. And I go, okay, I got it, but I'm still working, trying to figure out the first part with you know, all the advances that have gone through with that. And it's just one of those things that I keep and I hold on to, and it means the world to me. But you know, if I had to get rid of one, I think these other two games just have some diversity. It's not you know, where King of Death Monster kind of feels like a grind in some ways, where you're facing the same foe numerous times, and that can be a bit grindy. But you know, also, you know, leveling up your community and your fighters, watching people die, lose limbs, and things like that. It's very, very interesting, and it's very unique. And you know, let's face it, Adam Poots is a genius. Okay, a mad genius, and that's where the problem comes in. You could be a genius and be so meticulous with things, and then you could just be this loose cannon and not a really great businessman, but a genius. And that's where that comes in. And being able to pick one. I wonder if you guys would be able to pick one of those games. You know, if you guys would be able to go, well, you know, this is going to be the game for me, and I don't need the other two. Could you do it? Or would you be like me, where I'm going to have to find room for all three of these, because they all mean something to me. So I really would love to hear what you think, what your thoughts are. Neither of these three games are easy games, but they are very in-depth, and very, very, very strong games and big games. You know, it's for that kind of elite type of game player. So I'm really anxious to see what your thoughts are. If you had to pick between the three, which would you? Maybe you'll help me out, and maybe I'll finally shake one loose out of my collection. But right now, if I had to pick one, unfortunately, I think it would be Kingdom Death Monster. It's really you know, it's an older game. Is it a Grail game? In some ways, I think it is. In some ways, I think it is. I look forward to your comments, and until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.